So it's exciting to get started here and actually be in the building.
Yeah, it kind of feels like being a freshman in college again. Just have my parents take me to the airport, same kind of deal going to Stanford. Having like the older guys look at you like the kind of the new kid on the block. Being a rookie, being a freshman again, it's all kind of the same thing. So I'm very, very excited to be here.
We just talked to BJ, and it's less established players on defense, but a lot of really established players on the offense.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like kind of walking in that room, getting to know these guys?
For sure. I think it's very, very exciting, and it's a great opportunity to learn. I think the biggest thing I'm looking forward to doing and putting an emphasis on is just earning the respect of my teammates and earning the respect of the locker room. I think that's the most important thing. Coming in with open mind and just trying to be a sponge to guys who have been successful in the league. And so just being really deliberate and intentional of everything I do and making sure, I can leave a good first impression on the guys in the receiver room, the quarterbacks, running back room, coaching staff, just doing my best just to earn the respect of everybody in the building and kind of stamp why I deserve to be here.
What do you expect your role to be early on? I know you say you kind of you're gonna have to earn your spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you feel like you can make an impact right away?
Most definitely. I think obviously they brought me here to make an impact in some way, shape, or form. I'm not gonna put a title on what that's gonna look like because, like I said, I just got here. It's my first day, and I believe whatever I get is what I'm gonna earn. And so if that's being a starting receiver, that's great. If that's being a special teams guy, that's also great. If that's being a backup receiver plus special team gunner role, whatever role that I carve out for myself, it's going to be completely dependent on what I do on the practice field, how I carry myself in the meeting room. And like I said, talking about the word earn, like everything's in my control. And whatever role that I get, that's the role that I earned.
Michael, what's the last couple of weeks been like for you?
It's been, last couple of weeks after the draft or last couple of weeks? So after the draft, been a lot of meetings with my position coach, a lot of phone calls, a lot of paperwork I've been filling out for like pre-physicals and things of that sort. But most importantly, just trying to still stay in shape, still training, making sure I'm ready to come in and put on a good performance in a rookie mini camp and in OTAs as well. So just a lot of working out, a lot of meetings, and also taking time to enjoy sort of my last couple of weeks with my family before things kind of get crazy.
Was there a good celebration right after the draft?
There was, yeah. We had about 40 or so people come to my house. So I didn't know if I was going to get drafted Friday or Saturday. So on Friday, we kept it really, really small, just, immediate family. And then Saturday, we kind of opened it up to close friends, close relatives, and things of that sort. So it was good. It was a weekend I'll for sure cherish forever in my life.
Who are some of the guys maybe you grew up watching or modeled your game after?
I mean, I think there's a lot that come to mind. I know, obviously, Hollywood Brown, him playing Oklahoma and hearing, Gus John's Hollywood. Like, we all, like, in high school. 'Cause so Hollywood, once I get, close with him, I'll tell him this. But in 2016, that was my junior year of high school. And I think he was at COC, or College of the Canyons, in JUCO 2016 too. And Twitter has weird algorithms where people you closely follow, and sometimes things will pop up because we're playing within a 30-mile radius of each other. His highlights would always pop up during my junior season. That was also when I was starting to put up big numbers in high school. So I've been a fan of him since 2016 before he went to Oklahoma. So obviously he comes to mind. Rondale Moore, obviously. That 2019 season he had was spectacular. I think it was like the first game of the year. Maybe it was 2018, but he was a freshman, and I remember he took kickoffs kickoffs for touchdowns. And that was a Friday game, and we played Saturday. And I remember sitting around at our pregame, and I'm like, damn, who is this kid? So it's exciting to be able to play with him. And obviously DeAndre Hopkins is someone, every receiver, he's one of the faces of NFL receivers. So to be able to share the same locker room as him, to be able to learn from him, like I said, I'm really excited just to be a sponge to all these guys who have done things in the league that I, hope to do myself. So like I said, I'm coming in with clean hands, just trying to, like I said, earn the respect of my teammates, be a sponge, and just learn after guys that have had great success in the NFL.
Michael, can I give you two other names? Doug Baldwin, TJ Hushmanzada. What do those two guys mean to you?
Yeah, so I'll start with TJ first. TJ means the world to me. He was actually one of the people that was at my house on Friday when I got drafted, so that was special. But I started training with him in 2020 during COVID. And from the very first moment he saw me, he believed in me. And I think sometimes as young men, we need a mentor who has done what we are trying to do. And that's what TJ, he played 12 years in the league, was all-pro receiver, led the league in catches, I think, a couple years. And so having someone who's been one of the best receivers in the game when he was playing believe in me as a sophomore, as a young man, that means the world to me. And even going through all the injuries, going through the ups and downs and facing the adversity, being on losing teams, not having great games, he always would continually say to me, Mike's the best receiver in college football no one knows about. And he said that back from 2020, put a post up on Instagram about it. Every time he talked to scouts, he said, just get him to the Senior Bowl. Just get him to the Senior Bowl. I guarantee you he won't. He's going to surprise a lot of people. And so, honestly, one of my goals in my football career was to prove TJ right, because he did your word is everything, right? And sometimes when you vouch for a guy, like, your word can be on the line. And going to the Senior Bowl, I was like, look, he's like an uncle to me. He's like a mentor to me. I cannot let, his word go to waste. And so that was a big motivational factor going to the Senior Bowl, was to prove TJ right, because he did do so much for me. He has done so much for me, and because he's believed in me since day one. And then Doug Baldwin, he was one of my idols growing up, and because I've always wanted to go to Stanford. That was like my dream school since I was 10 years old. And I remember when I really became a fan of Doug Baldwin off the field was when he debated primetime in the 2014 Super Bowl, like during a media day, because primetime had called him a pedestrian receiver. But the way he attacked that argument with so much analytics, he was so articulate. And I was in middle school at the time. I'm like, man, I want to be able to carry myself like he does, being a great competitor, but also being to articulate myself in a way that's very respectable to the media and to people watching. And so Doug Baldwin was a very, very big influence in my life. And I actually met him for the first time during spring ball my fifth year or last year of 2022, because we had a big event where all the alumni that played in the NFL came back to the school. And we chopped it up literally from like 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning for like 5-6 hours, just chopping it up about his experience at Stanford, his experience in the NFL, his growth as just a man, what the Stanford degree can do for you post-football, struggles post-football, struggles in the league, adversity, just chopped it up about everything. And he's always a phone call or a text away. So those two guys mean a lot to me, and I'm excited to continue to build that relationship with both of them.
You mentioned the Senior Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Take us through the mindset of getting hurt during the season, having that part of your year get wrecked, but making sure you got back for the Senior Bowl. Like, did you think, okay, maybe this isn't the smartest thing to get back there, or were you all along like, I got to get back for this week? Yeah.
So kind of to start, so I missed, I had a foot injury in 2021, bone injury, and foot injury back-to-back. So I missed 11 games because I got hurt the last part of 2020. That carried into 2021. And so going into my fifth year, I was like, man, I need to have a fully healthy season. Like, I cannot get hurt. Started off the season strong. We're beating Notre Dame, and I thought that was going to be the turning point in our season because we had lost, a couple of games early on. And then I remember Tanner, we called a sprint out play. He threw a low ball, caught the ball, turned up the field, got tackled, and I heard my collarbone crack. And I was like, God, Lee, I'm trying to move it. I'm like, come on, please, this can't happen. It ended up being a fractured collarbone. Again, another uncontrollable injury, which is very, very tough because you put so much into the game, and it's like it can be taken away, just something like off something so, freak. And then at that time, because I only had played 14 games, in my head I'm like, man, I hope I don't have to do a 6th year, right? If I didn't get the Senior Bowl invite or a Senior Bowl invite of some sort, that was probably going to be a really viable option that I'd have to take if I wanted to get drafted or get drafted as high as I possibly could. And a few weeks later, Jim Nagy called me and was like, we're going to invite you to the Senior Bowl. I was like, Jim, thank you so much. I promise you this invite is not going to go to waste. I'm treating this pretty much like the Super Bowl, like my life literally depends on it. And so I wasn't able to do anything for about 8 weeks. So I got healthy, I want to say the first week of December. So timeline-wise, the Senior Bowl was the last week of January, so I had 2 months to get ready. And I lost all the muscle in my upper body because I wasn't able to do upper body lifting. My legs got a little smaller because I wasn't able to squat and do things and put, weight on my back and everything. So took December and January very, very seriously. Just put my head down, grind, and then going into the Senior Bowl, like I said, it was like a Super Bowl type of moment. Like I can't let this opportunity slip through my finger because I know what it can do for me. And there was probably, if you're looking at the X's and O's and the lineups of what guys produced in college, like I was probably the guy that was the outlier. Why did this guy get an invite? Having 418 yards and 4 touchdowns my senior year, right? Like those are very underwhelming stats. And so I wanted to prove to guys and prove to everyone like why I deserve to be here, why TJ has been saying Mike's a really good receiver that nobody knows about. And I think I did that. And I'm very, very proud of myself for that. And I'm always very, very thankful to Jim for taking a chance on me and giving me that opportunity because it definitely changed my life.